Yeah.
I'm always saying from my experiences with him. But as a fighter, just fucking make it happen. Keep him around. You got a
That's
gem.
more important.
It's extraordinary gem.
Yeah.
And you want to talk about sellability. You want to talk about marketability. What's more marketable than a giant man who destroys everyone? He's the guy.
So true.
Drove me nuts.
But yeah, Tom Aspinall, you know, I'm going to be sweating. I've done a fucking 3 years of propaganda campaigns for him. Really put him over. And if he doesn't pull this one off,
he's got to.
Then I'm going to worry about it. But there's so much pressure on him.
Yes. Ciryl Gane, he's a very big athletic heavyweight, right? Like he's got some good wins. And I just want to see Tom Aspinall more active. I feel we've lost a couple of years of seeing him active, and I'm excited for him just to get out there and just fight, just to see him fight.
From highlight reels to heated debates, the heavyweight division is buzzing again, this time over Tom Aspinall versus Ciryl Gane. Two of the most skilled big men in the UFC are on a collision course, and the experts have plenty to say. From striking power to speed, here's what the fight world is predicting.
I'm taking Aspinall, for sure.
Should be Tom. It should be, but we'll see.
Oh, it's Tom. It's got to be Tom. Yeah, like I would always back it.
Aspinall. Tom Aspinall is the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. What's the first step for him?
You give him the one contender, Ciryl Gane. Ciryl Gane is somebody that's a big heavyweight, that's very agile. I don't think Tom Aspinall gets rid of him right away like he has with other people. And I think that'll be a big indication if John Jones wants to come back and reclaim that bout once again.
I think you're absolutely right. Fight that makes sense. Tom Aspinall, Ciryl Gane. Let's make that happen. Ciryl Gane is, people forget how fantastic he is. A guy that can kind of float around the octagon, touch you, kick you, hit you with elbow. He's just a complete game. But man, Tom's movement, his boxing, speed, and his power, it's very, very difficult to doubt this man anymore.
Joe Rogan didn't hold back when talking about Tom Aspinall. You could tell right away that he sees something special in him. That rare mix of skill, presence, and raw power that makes fans stop and pay attention. He spoke with that spark in his tone, the kind he usually saves for fighters who truly stand out. As the conversation went on, Rogan hinted at how unique Aspinall really is. Not just another heavyweight, but someone the UFC should do everything in its power to keep. There was almost this sense of urgency in his words, like he knew Aspinall could be the face of the division if given the right push. He then touched on the part every fan notices, the way Aspinall carries himself and how he fights. That mix of size, speed, and calm confidence makes him both terrifying and exciting to watch. Rogan didn't spell everything out, but the message was clear. There's something rare about this guy, and everyone can feel it.
I'm always saying from my experiences with him. But as a fighter, just fucking make it happen. Keep him around. You got a
That's
gem.
more important.
It's extraordinary gem. And you want to talk about sellability. You want to talk about marketability. What's more marketable than a giant man who destroys everyone? He's the guy.
So true.
Drove me nuts.
Demetrius Johnson, an MMA guru, both had a lot to say about Aspinall versus Gane, and their take was full of insight and subtle tension. Right when the matchup came up, you could hear that mix of excitement and caution, the kind that comes before a real test. They both agreed this fight finally gives the heavyweight division the energy it's been missing. Guru admitted he's been backing Tom for years, almost like he's emotionally invested in seeing him prove himself this time. He mentioned the kind of pressure Tom's under, but also how some fighters actually rise when the moment is biggest. That's where he sees Tom shining, when the stakes are high and the lights are brightest.
Vision is going to be going again for the, the title's going to be active. It should be a sick card. I mean, other than that, after those
Jailton Almeida, Alexander Volkov is on that same card as well. So there's a good heavyweight. It's a good heavyweight movement card, for the division. But yeah, Tom Aspinall, I'm going to be sweating. I've done a fucking 3 years of propaganda campaigns for him. Really put him over. And if he doesn't pull this one off,
he's got to.
Then I'm going to worry about it. But there's so much pressure on him.
Yes.
He's one of those few fighters where when there's more pressure, I trust him more.
Yeah.
Because when the stakes are highest, you said this about Patchy Mix, sometimes guys are gym fighters. I think Tom's did the opposite.
He compared the two heavyweights in a way that really sets the tone for what's to come. Ciryl Gane, smooth and technical, but sometimes shaky under pressure. Tom Aspinall, on the other hand, calm but lethal when it matters most. It wasn't a wild prediction, but more of a quiet confidence that Tom might just handle the moment better.
You know, because sometimes you watch sparring videos of him and I'm like, stop putting out sparring videos. The amount of weaknesses that I'm seeing and chin up in the air. And I'm like, but in the fight when it's all, and I think Ciryl Gane might be the opposite. This is why I trust in Tom.
Yeah.
Because Gane is really technical looking, but when the stakes are the highest, he does seem to have his worst showings and make his worst decisions. And Tom seems to be the opposite. So I think it's a recipe for a Tom win. And we could be looking at that Pereira fight.
Then came Johnson's side, looking at the bigger picture. He pointed out how the heavyweight scene feels fresh again, and this matchup is the key to unlocking what's next. You could sense how much he values Tom finally being active again after setbacks. Like he's been waiting to see the real version of him take over.
Volkov, and then finally Tom Aspinall and Ciryl Gane the fight, because Ciryl Gane, he's a very big athletic heavyweight, right? Like he's got some good wins. And I just want to see Tom Aspinall more active. I feel we've lost a couple years of seeing him active, and I'm excited for him just to get out there and just fight, just to see him fight.
Yeah.
Guru brought up Tom's improvements, the gym time, the new training partners, and how that downtime might have turned out to be a blessing. It wasn't said in a hyped up way, but more as an observation from someone who's seen fighters evolve quietly, then explode when it counts.
True. I like that though for him, because I do think he was a bit green. You know, he doesn't have many fights. And because of his inactivity, you know, his knee injury after the first Blades fight and stuff kind of kept him out from a lot of that as well. So I kind of think this is going to be good. Maybe he's been refining things. He's got Ante Delija in the gym. He's got other heavy. He's been training with Rico Verhoeven in his kickboxing. And I think this has been good for him. You know, he's even got my man Phil de Friars, the GOAT himself. You know, he's some KSW heavyweight champion for the past decade or something. Like he just keeps beating these guys at KSW heavyweight. But yeah, Tom Aspinall, I'm looking forward to it.
By the end, both of them seem genuinely eager for what's coming. No over-the-top claims, just two experts who recognize that this fight might decide the next true face of the heavyweight division, and they both hinted that Tom might be ready to claim it.
Yeah, I got it. I just think the wrestling and the grappling and the speed of Tom Aspinall, he's a heavyweight, but he doesn't move like a natural heavyweight. Like, he has really good footwork, really fast. Obviously, he's strong and powerful. Yeah, I think Tom Aspinall right now, I just don't see any, you know, somebody might surprise me, but right now I just don't see anybody that would really be a good matchup for Tom Aspinall that would give him a challenge, you know, as of right now. I could be wrong, but
when it came to Michael Bisping sizing up this fight, it felt very straightforward. He started by pointing out how evenly matched Gane and Aspinall are in terms of size and athleticism. Both men move well for heavyweights, both are quick, and both have that coordination you don't always see at the top of the division. Still, Bisping leaned toward Gane being the slicker mover on the feet. But where he really saw things shifting was in the power department. He hinted that Aspinall might be the heavier hitter, someone who could change the fight with one clean shot. That striking power in Bisping's eyes makes Aspinall a danger not just on the ground, but also standing right in front of Gane.
In terms of the matchup, they're both big men, similar sizes. They're both athletic. Very athletic. They're fast, the pair of them. They're both very coordinated. I think if I had to give an advantage to Ciryl, it'd be in the, you know, maybe in the movement. Maybe he's a little slicker on the feet, but he's not as powerful as Tom. And Tom's certainly slick as we know.
Then came the part Bisping emphasized the most, the wrestling and grappling. To him, there was no debate about who held the edge. He said if Aspinall chooses to take the fight down, he should be able to do it. And that creates a whole different level of risk for Gane. Bisping even went so far as to say that unless Gane dedicates serious time to grappling, the fight could get away from him fast. He painted a picture of what might happen if Gane hadn't put in those hours, and it wasn't flattering.
But the wrestling, the grappling side of things, it's not even a conversation. It's not a conversation. So. Tom should be able to take him down if he chooses to. So if Ciryl Gane isn't training in Dagestan for 2-3 months, years, days, weeks,
or
whatever,
Arkansas,
brother.
Yeah, he's just go down there with Brass.
Mitchell, get up there with Brass. If he's not just solely working on his grappling.
Still, he didn't completely write Gane off. Bisping reminded fans that Gane is skilled enough to surprise people, and Aspinall knows that too, which is why he'll prepare carefully. But at the end of the day, the grappling question loomed the largest in his prediction, with Aspinall's power as another possible fight-ending factor.
then he's a fool.
Yeah.
And by the way, Tom's probably got bigger power. Tom might just knock him out on his feet as well. And I'm not saying that Ciryl can't be a force and Ciryl can't compete and Ciryl can't surprise us all, because he can. And Tom knows that. That's why he'll train accordingly. But the grappling is a big question mark.
Big question mark.
Curtis Blades provided a fairly honest breakdown of how he sees the matchup between Tom Aspinall and Ciryl Gane playing out. He pointed out that Tom's grappling could be the key difference. The kind of edge that can quietly decide a fight even when it doesn't look flashy. You could tell Blades respects that part of Tom's game a lot. He mentioned that if Tom decides to take it to the ground, he probably can whenever he wants. It wasn't said with overconfidence, more like a matter-of-fact observation from someone who knows what that level of control looks like. It's that quiet assurance that gives his take weight. Then came the real prediction. If Tom survives the early minutes and the fight drags into deeper waters, Blades would lean toward him to win. It's the kind of statement that leaves room for fans to think without revealing every reason behind it, and keeps that air of curiosity around how things might unfold.
I believe that Aspinall does have the advantage though in that the grappling department. I believe that whenever he wants to, he'll be able to put Ciryl on his back, and he may not have to, but I believe he can if he does have to, and I believe that'll be the difference if it gets out of the first round. I'll go with
Aspinall. I think he's just got more ways to win. Hits a lot harder, and just, I think Gane's advantage over everybody was his speed, and I think Tom Aspinall is just as fast, if not faster, especially with the hands and the boxing and stuff, and he's got submission wins too, so.
James Lynch began by breaking down why this matchup came together in the first place. With few contenders available, it ultimately came down to Ciryl Gane or Alexander Volkov, and Gane ended up being the fresher, more exciting pick for Tom. Lynch compared their size, reach, and age, pointing out how evenly they stack up on paper, though Tom clearly brings the youth and momentum into this one.
Going to take place was pretty much whether they were going to go with Gane, who did win his last fight technically, or they were going to go with Alexander Volkov. There really weren't any other contenders for Tom Aspinall, in my opinion. I know some people talked about Jailton Almeida. Come on. I mean, Almeida lost a couple fights ago. Gane does make sense in the situation because it's a fresh matchup, right? So I completely understand that. Let's do a quick tail of the tape between these two. Of course, Aspinall becoming the champion with John Jones retiring. So he's the undisputed champ. Aspinall is 32 years old. He's 6'5" with a 78-inch reach. Ciryl Gane is 35 years old. He's 6'4" with an 81-inch reach. So Ciryl Gane going to have a slight reach advantage in this fight at 81, but Tom Aspinall an inch taller, and Aspinall is going to be a couple years younger. As
he then brought up Gane's last fight, which is where things got interesting. Sure, the official results showed Gane winning, but Lynch noted that most of the media saw it differently. That left him wondering if Gane's recent performance truly showed the kind of form needed to face someone like Tom, who's been on a sharp rise.
Ciryl Gane's got a bit of a layoff too. He has not fought since the Volkov fight, which was back in December, so a bit of a layoff for him coming into this one as well. And I mentioned the fight with Volkov. Listen, I'm a big Ciryl Gane fan, but I don't think he won that last fight. He got a split decision there, and the media agrees with me here. If you look at the scorecards and MMA decisions, just one media member scored the fight for Gane. Everyone else scored it for Volkov. Not a good decision there. I don't know. I think really this is not a fight that favors Ciryl Gane very well. I think
when it came to the actual matchup, Lynch pointed out where Gane might find some success. His striking and movement can look impressive, but Lynch doesn't think he has that one-punch power that can suddenly end things. Tom's already dealt with skilled strikers before, so even if this stays standing, Gane's usual edge there might not be enough to make a real difference.
I think if it stays standing, Gane's possibly got a chance here. He's got good striking. He's very technical. Doesn't really have like the one-punch knockout power he used to. He does have wins by knockout, but they're not really like TKO. They're more like TKO victories as opposed to like Francis Ngannou punches, right? So I suppose, that could happen here too. But, even if it's on the feet, I think Aspinall has shown that he can hold his own. But on the ground, Aspinall's got a huge advantage. I mean, this is a guy that, is 4 wins by submission.
The final point Lynch focused on was Tom's ability to finish. He highlighted that Tom rarely leaves things to the judges and usually ends fights early, often by taking them to the mat. That, in his eyes, was the clearest way to victory. Use the grappling, control the pace, and put Gane in situations where he's least comfortable.
It's 4 wins by submission. Finished. Volkov submitted him in the first round. finished Andrei Arlovsky. He's got a good ground game here. And I think if you're Tom, why mess around on the feet? Get this fight to the floor and submit Ciryl Gane. And I think he will. I think if you look at Tom Aspinall's career, he is a finisher. He's not someone that goes to the judges' scorecards here, has yet to hit the judges' scorecards in the UFC. Actually, I don't think he's even hit. He hasn't even hit the judges' scorecards in his career. This is a guy that's used to finishing. Now, if he can't finish early...
And that's where he left things, breaking down the fight as one of the most intriguing heavyweight matchups in a long time. Whether it's Tom's finishing instincts or Gane's technical striking and experience, this clash has all the ingredients to shake up the division. Who do you see coming out on top? Let us know in the comments below.